Welcome to the Personal Perseverance Project. My name is David Atkins, retired New York State Trooper, $1 Million Direct Sales International Business Earner, author, and keynote motivational speaker, where each week I come here to help you break through your excuses so you can live a life up to your fullest potential. Let the project begin.
That is my mindset. I operate on a level of excellence, and you guys need to wake up every single day, and you need to operate on a level of excellence and create your masterpiece.
What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's episode in the Personal Perseverance Project. And right out of the gate, I think this is a very important topic because I know this is something that affects people every single day. It's something that stops people. It's one of the biggest fears that people have. And the topic that I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to let you guys know is, dealing with the naysayers, dealing with the critics, dealing with the haters, dealing with the people that often will say things when you're out to go after setting some goals or setting some dreams. Or more importantly, it's the fear of worrying about what other people may think that stops us from taking that first step, that leap of faith for going after that goal, going after that dream. And I'm going to start off and I'm going to say this. If you are somebody, and I think this is super important, if you are somebody right now in your life that is completely content with the career and job you have, with the relationship you have with your spouse or significant other, for those that have relationships, with your finances, with your health and wellness. If you are content with where you are, then kudos to you. Keep doing what you're doing because you are in a very happy place. But if you are not happy with where you are in your life, your career, maybe your health, your wellness, your finances, your relationships, if you are not happy, then understand this. If you want to improve on any of those areas of your life, you are going to have people who are going to hate on you. It's simply going to be part of the process. If you do nothing, say nothing, and stay exactly where you are, then nobody's ever going to say anything. But if you are somebody that wants more out of life, if you are somebody that wants more out of your career or your health or your finances or your relationship, you're going to have people that are going to say things in a negative way. And that's just part of the process. So right out of the gate, I like to say 98% of society lives life by default. They just kind of accept their life for what it is. They're in a miserable career or job. They can't wait for the weekend, and they just kind of go through the motions of life, and they let fear stop them, and they're worried about what other people think, and they just I just want to get to retirement and just not be bothered and just get to the weekend and have my 2 days off. But if you are a 2%er, and I think if you are listening to my podcast and you are somebody that listens, you are somebody that wants more out of life. So I'm going to go figure and assume that you are a 2%er, and that's somebody that wants to live life by design, a life on your terms. Well, guess what? With that comes criticism. With that is going to have people that are going to say negative things. So I have a couple points that I want to share with you guys that I need you to understand. I talk about this in depth in my book, The Leveled Up Life. If you have not gotten my book, The Leveled Up Life, yet, you can go on Amazon and literally have it tomorrow. It's an easy read. It's my no excuse blueprint to live a life up to your fullest potential. And I give you principles of success. In one of the chapters, I talk about exactly some of the things that I'm sharing with you right now. So I want to go over a couple of points. And the first thing is this: understand when somebody says something negative towards you, right? Whether it's a comment on a social media post or somebody, in these days, more times than not, it's a comment because everybody's so tough on the keyboard, on their phone, behind a screen, but they're not willing to say things to your face. But when somebody says something, no matter what they say or where they say it, understand that's their perception of their reality. That's their perception of the life they lived. Let me give you an example. When I started my Beachbody business, which is a multi-level marketing direct sales business, or as some people want to say, and people used to joke and bust my chops, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, or those things don't work, and that business is going to fail. That comment, that negative comment towards me is only the perception of something they dealt with. Maybe they tried another network marketing business out and they failed. Maybe they knew somebody that tried something out that failed. Maybe they heard other people mock and made fun of businesses like that they're pyramid schemes. And I used to just kind of laugh at the pyramid scheme thing because pyramid schemes are illegal. And Beachbody, that became a billion-dollar company during my time as a coach. If it was a legal business, it would have been shut down. But that's kind of a joke people say, but I was willing to move past that. But my thing is that when they would make comments, it never came from their own experience. It came from what they heard other people had, or maybe they did try a business like this and it didn't work. So they feel, I'm going to take my experience and I'm going to put it out on you. So when somebody says something to you, their opinions are not your reality. Their opinions are the reality of the perception they lived in. So understand that their perception is being put on you. So don't take it personal. The second thing is this. We so often, when it comes to fear, if we put up a social media post or we put up something and you get 100 positive comments and one person says something negative, we are so quick to harp on that negative comment. I've been guilty of it. Why? Because our brains are wired to protect us. It's that whole flight or fight syndrome. So we hone in on that one negative comment. We hone in on that fear, but we have to understand that we can't allow that one negative comment to stop us from moving forward. Guys, my entire time that I moved up, whether it was through my Beachbody success, moving up through the ranks of the state police, when I wanted to publish a book, especially when I said I was going to retire at a young age after only 22 years with the state police to be a speaker, the amount of people that thought I was crazy and said certain things, I had it all the time. But I have learned this next point I'm going to say is is bless and release. What I mean by that, bless and release is, thank you so much for what you have to say, but I release them out of my mind. I bless you, thank you, whatever your opinion is. I respect your opinion, but bye-bye, it's not my reality. I respect that you think I'm making a crazy decision, but that's based off of your own experience in your life up until that point. And I release them. I wish them the best. Thank you for your opinion, but I'm moving on with my things because my vision was put in my imagination, for me, not for anybody else. And for me, it's so easy to let those negative comments, that one comment, stop us from moving forward. But I have learned that more people than not support me, and I can't allow the one negative comment to stop us. So don't let that one negative comment stop you. Learn to bless and release. That's my saying with that. Another thing I want to share with you guys is understand that anytime you set out to do something, your harshest critics will be your friends and family. It's just the reality. Maybe it's because they're the closest and they love you the most and they think they're coming from a place of kindness to protect you. But just know that that's part of the process. And so often the reason we stop and don't go after goals and dreams is because we allow our family's criticism of us to stop us. Don't do that. I'll never forget the story when before I retired from the state police, and I talked about, I was at my sister's house and I was telling my brother that in a couple of years I was going to be retiring early because of the success in our Beachbody business. And at that point, Kristen was retired because our business allowed her. I like to say she retired, but she was a teacher and she left teaching because our business was able to get to the point. She came home with our kids. And I remember telling my brother at some point in the next couple of years, I too am also going to retire. And he's like, David, stop. That's not going to happen. Stop. That's not going to happen. So my own brother, who I love him to death, who I respect, who I talk to all the time, even said something like, I was crazy for doing that. And I won't forget that conversation. Why? Because we all deal with it. I know right now, if you are trying to improve your life in any area, your mom, your dad, your siblings, or your spouse. That's another big one. An unsupportive spouse. And that is very common too. But for me, like in the beginning, Kristen wasn't supportive of me when I wanted to build a Beachbody business, but I had to sit down and look her in the eye and have a serious conversation and say, listen, I believe in what this business can do for my family. I have a vision for it. So what do I need to do to get your support? And sometimes you just need to have that heart to heart with that family member like I had to get past it. But don't allow your family to stop you, and understand that the hardest critics will be your family, and you're not immune to it. We all deal with the same thing. My next point I like to say is prove them wrong. You know what you do with your haters and critics and naysayers? You prove them wrong. How? By taking action and succeeding in whatever it is. Maybe that the reason that they're being so hard or negative towards you, or maybe the reason people have said stuff is because you start things and you stop. You start and you stop. You start and you stop. Well, you know what? Maybe then they're coming from a place of it's not going to work because you always quit. Maybe you need to start proving them wrong. For me, it's like, I'm just going to prove you wrong. Why? Because my mindset is there is no plan B. There is no way out. You know, they say the Navy SEALs already make up in their mind before they go on the mission, they'll complete the mission. Like even if they get shot or they're hurt, they already made up in their mind before they even start the mission that they're going to complete the mission. So you need to prove people wrong. If you're going to set out to do something, then do it. If you set out for a goal, then do the goal. Because I've also had just as many people that were critics of mine, those exact same people have come back to me and were like, David, I can't believe what you accomplished. And I apologize. I'll never forget, somebody's like, I apologize for being such a jerk to you years back, because look where you are now. So you need to prove people wrong. My next point is this. You will never, ever be criticized by someone who's more successful than you. Let me say that again. You will never, if you think about it, think of the people that have said comments to you. You will never be criticized by somebody more successful than you. And I'll even add another layer on it. You will never be criticized by someone more successful than you who is in the field or succeeded at the thing that you're trying to accomplish. That's 100% guaranteed. If you're trying to build a certain business, say you're trying to build a landscaping business, or you're trying to build a direct sales business like I did, somebody that did it and succeeded at it, you will never get negative criticism from them. You may get constructive criticism from them to help you, get better, but you're never going to get a hater or somebody saying something mean from somebody that's more successful than you, especially those that have accomplished whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Remember that. So when you get those negative comments and critics and naysayers, take it with a grain of salt. Really, take it with a grain of salt. And that's why I always say it's so important that you're doing personal development. You're listening to podcasts like this. You're reading good books to fuel your mind at least 10 minutes a day. You're listening to motivational videos. You're doing the things to fuel your mind with positive things, because we are all going to have critics and naysayers. And the only way you're going to survive is by fueling your mind with stuff that's going to keep you stronger, that's going to give you the mental toughness to push through the stuff, the resistance that's going to come at you, because we're going to have it happen. And the next thing, guys, I want to say is this. Sometimes you just need to snooze those people that aren't serving you. If there's somebody on social media that's constantly, saying things that's affecting your mindset, or there's somebody that maybe is negatively constantly commenting on your stuff, maybe you need to block them. Or maybe if their posts are bothering your mindset and they're constantly all drama and negative and politics and hate, I'm not saying you need to unfriend them, but there's a snooze button. Snooze them for 30 days, And sometimes, I'll tell you this, and this kind of gets into the comparison game. This is a little bit off, but it just made me think of this. I've snoozed people that I look up to. Why? Because when they post things of things they're accomplishing, I don't want to get caught up in the comparison game. I want to stay focused with where I am. So I have a snooze people that I love just because I'm like, this is distracting. I'm comparing. I can't see this right now. And I've snoozed them. And they're somebody that I really love. So that's like a side piece of a strategy that I did. And they don't know that I did it, because I adore certain people. They're close. Sometimes they could be people I talk to, but you need to stay focused on your goals and your dreams. But guys, in the end, as I kind of wrap up here in this podcast today, is critics and naysayers, it's part of the process. It really is. Stop running from it and accept it. And if you don't want it to ever happen, well, then you're going to have to be content with where you are in your life. And if you are content with where you are in your life, then kudos to you. This is not for you. But if you're not content with where you are in your life, then understand you're going to have to deal with this. And my friends, I'll end with this. Struggle is less painful than regret. I'll say that again. Struggle is less painful than regret. Do not, procrastinate or not have the willingness to try to go after your goals and dreams because you're worried about what other people may think or say. Because there's going to become a point in your life, a time in your life that you're going to look back and you're going to regret that you didn't do those things. You're going to say, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. And you don't want to live with regret. The struggle of dealing with the critics and naysayers is less painful than the regret later on. Okay? Because you can get through the naysayers. And let me tell you, the more you prove them wrong, the more success and things that I do with success, the less haters come out because they're like, all right, I've watched David now for 12, 13 years. He built the business. He wrote the book. He's doing these things. He's growing. Why? Because I never give up because I'm going to prove people wrong. And you can do the same thing. And that's much less painful than the regret of me looking back saying I wasn't willing to try those things. So guys, that's it with my message today. Please drop a comment, share this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing week if you're listening to this on a Monday or when you listen to this, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. My goal every single day is to help people live up to their fullest potential. So please share this episode, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even leave a review. Be sure to connect and follow me on all my social media channels. And if you would like more information about me potentially being a keynote speaker at your event, or maybe you want to work with me one-on-one as your private coach, be sure to go to my website at davidatkinspeaks.com for more information. Thank you.